believe this boy is one of the glaring examples out there for everyone to see that Islam is not a blind faith. Islam is a religion that resonates with knowledge and reasoning. Because when you see the things he does, even though I blame him for delaying to take his shahada, because at the end of the day, we don't know when our own time can come. And it will be more painful if your time comes when you have seen the truth, but you hesitated to accept it. You can see the way he comfortably refuted no logic in this video.
Just because you can't logically understand something doesn't mean it's not true. We're talking about God here, right? We're not going to understand God logically. There's going to be things and truths that we can ascertain, that we can hold to, but it doesn't mean that we're going to understand everything. So even if you can't wrap your mind around the person of the Son, who shares the same nature of the Father, praying to the Father while he's here on earth, communicating with him, glorifying him, that doesn't necessarily make sense to you. That doesn't mean that it's false, right?
Yeah, it just sounds like a trick. Like, just because you can't understand it doesn't mean you shouldn't believe it.
What I'm saying is that if you're going to reject something, you have to have actual reasons to reject. Not, oh, I don't understand this, so, I dismiss it.
Well, I guess the reason because I don't understand it is, if I were to give God characteristics, I would say he's perfect. And then as soon as you think of God being in a man sits on the toilet and takes poops. That's why I can't understand it, because it seems like a contradiction of what God is.
Being completely powerful doesn't mean that you just have to do anything. That is why God being powerful does not necessitate for him to become a human being. Because that is the direct opposite of the term powerful, perfectly powerful. God cannot prove that he is perfectly powerful by becoming a human being. He has to remain who he is to be completely and perfectly powerful. The moment you imagine that God needs to be delivered like a baby, God needs to be taught, God needs to be fed with breast milk, and God needs to learn certain things about life. That completely removes that entity from the position of divinity. That is what they fail woefully to understand. The fact that the president of a country is the most powerful person in that country. He has the will to do and undo. But he cannot become a drunkard, even though he can if he wishes to do it. He cannot become a drunkard. Why? Because becoming a drunkard is a character which cannot be expected from a president. That is just a mere president. What about God, the creator of a human being, who is supposed to be feared by all, respected by all, and worshipped by all? That aspect of worship, respect, and reverence fades away the moment he takes the character of a human being. So God does not have to take the picture of his creation to prove his greatness. There is no logic in that. There is nothing more powerful than God. In fact, he is perfectly mighty and powerful that he does not need any other thing, but every other thing depends on him for survival. He did not have to become a human being to prove to us that he is God. Because that will automatically mean the opposite. The moment he becomes a human being, we will toy with him, we will even kill him and crucify him, and nothing will happen. Two opposite things cannot become the same thing at the same time. So how can you expect God to become a human being? A human being is directly the total opposite of God. A human being is a person who has needs. He has wants. He has to depend on other human beings and on God for survival. And God is the direct opposite. For God to be God, he does not have to be a human being at any point in time. Why should the essence of God be so difficult to understand that people will just give up and say we have understood? The essence of God is supposed to be the simplest thing that everybody can understand, because it is based on that judgment will be established. Then how can God make us to worship him, and then he makes his identity so complicated that we cannot even recognize whether he is a human being or he is God? And this is what the Christians want us to believe. People like no logic. So imagine sometime in history, when people could turn around and see God beside them, dressed like them, eating like them, going to the market, could cry and we see his tears. When we look for someone to depend on, we want someone who is stronger, who cannot be emotional, who cannot be the same like us, not someone who needs us instead. I wonder why he still puts the word logic in his name, because it is not befitting at all. We will leave it right here for today. Please do not go away without subscribing. Turn on the notification button and share the video. May Allah bless you as you do so. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.